One of the goals of the CUAHD project is to work with advisory board members to get continuing feedback on heart health learning modules we are creating based on the original heart health related comparative effectiveness research summary guides, or CERSGs. This video will review that process that advisory board members can use to provide feedback through the CUAHD homepage. Because these modules are only available to advisory board members right now, this lesson assumes that you've already been assigned and know your CUAHD.org ID and password. The first step of this process then is to visit the CUAHD homepage. You can find that at CUAHD.org. Once the site loads, we've tried to provide a relatively simple way for you to find the relevant resources that we're asking you to review. You can get to those by first clicking on the advisory board link on the main menu bar. We've provided a direct link on this page to the advisory board group resources. If you haven't logged in recently to your account, it may ask you for your username and password. You can enter that in the appropriate fields. And it might be helpful for you to click the Remember Me button. It might allow your browser to remember your ID and password so you don't have to log in repeatedly. But if it doesn't, you can always enter it here. Once you click on Login, you'll be taken to the private advisory board group that we've set up and directly to the resource page. And you can see, if you scroll up and down, that we have created resources or learning modules, one or more, for each of the 4 CERSGs that we're working with as a part of the project. So if you wanted to start your process by at the very beginning, you would identify Module 1A, our Introduction to CHD, and then you could work through them one at a time until you're completed. So let's say I wanted to provide a review of Module 1A. I would click on this link. Then I'm presented with several options, but the one of interest right now is the View Presentation link. So if I were to click that, it should load, and I should see slides and hear an audio narration. And it may take a moment for it to load based on the speed of your internet connection. So be patient if you don't see something immediately. It should appear relatively quickly. Make sure your speakers are turned up so you can hear the audio narration.
Welcome to Module 1 in our series on coronary heart disease, or CHD.
So here I see a slide and I hear a narration. I can also control several features of this presentation to make it easier for me to view it. One of the things I can do is simply pause the presentation.
Coronary heart disease, or CHD.
And it will advance slides as needed. I can also click on some of these other options to advance back and forward through different presentations or different slides in this presentation, or click on this button to get a link to the full names of each of the slides, and I can jump around from slide to slide. This is helpful if I want to review different slides, watch one again, but don't want to go through the entire presentation. Once I've completed the entire presentation, watch the whole thing, I can close it. One of the things that I encourage you to do while you're watching a presentation is have a pen and paper next to you so you can take notes. You can easily pause and note different things that might be useful feedback for us, such as the clarity of the content, the graphics or the animations, the audio quality, or the organization of the material, or anything else that you think would be helpful for us as we continue to improve the presentation of this information. So once you've viewed the presentation, your next step is to provide your review. If you notice, there is a review tab located on this same page. So once you've closed the presentation, you can click on the review tab, and you can see other people's review of this material and any comments that other people have made about a particular review. So if you haven't provided a review yet, you would simply select Write a Review. This screen allows you to do really 2 things. One is to provide an overall rating. if you think it is a terrible presentation, you'd select poor. If you thought it was excellent, you could select that, or anything in between. If you thought it was good, but you have some things you like or don't like about it, select that, and then you can provide, maybe using your notes as a guide, to provide feedback. You can write as much as you think would be helpful, but a paragraph or two highlighting what you liked or disliked about the way this particular module worked would be helpful. Once you've completed your review, typed your comments, you can click the Submit button. At this point, I should be able to see my review as the most recent one provided in the list of reviews, and this will verify that you actually were able to submit your report. I can see the star that I provided, my name, and then the written notes that I made related to that presentation. If I wanted to go back to view additional presentations or review them, I could simply select Advisory Board, go back to the Resources page, scroll to the next module in the series, in this case Module 1B, ACE inhibitors, and I could repeat this process again and again. So that's the process we'd like you to go through to review online through the CUAHD.org homepage the learning modules that we're working on. We hope this has been helpful, but please let us know if you have any difficulties or questions about this process. We very much appreciate your participation in the project.